Is Redfin a buy? This is the question we will answer in this video. Hey there, and welcome to my channel, The Paper Bag Investor, where we're always looking for the next multi-bagger investment for your portfolio. But to be clear, nothing on this channel is personal financial advice. If you get value out of this video, I encourage you hit that subscribe button down below, and also consider joining my Patreon, which I recently started. I will be eventually adding more exclusive content there as that community grows. I should mention as well, with my Patreon, I've limited or fixed the maximum amount of Patreon supporters in each tier. So right now there's only 20 spots available for the lowest and cheapest tier, and there will only ever be 20 spots available. So if you want to jump in there on one of those remaining spots, feel free to check that out. And for those that have supported already, I really appreciate it. Seriously means a ton to me. Okay, so today's video, is Redfin a buy? If you're not familiar, Redfin is a real estate company that helps people buy and sell homes in the United States. So Redfin, stock ticker RDFN. Is Redfin a buy? In this video, we're going to look at the opportunity in real estate real briefly, and then Redfin's business strategy. What is the core key concept the key strategy that Redfin follows? We're going to look at that. How is Redfin doing this or executing on the strategy? We're going to be looking at that. Redfin numbers, some of their financials, how they're doing. Redfin CEO, take a look at him. And the Redfin network effects, do they have any network effects? And then also stick around to the end of the video, as I'll be sharing my exact plan for Redfin with you guys. So we're going to cover quite a bit of ground here. Let's dive into it. The opportunity in real estate. Now, I did a video a little while ago called Why Real Estate is Ripe for Disruption, that there's a 10x opportunity available in real estate. And the key reason why is that the current value stream when it comes to buying and selling a home is really not customer centric. And in the digital age we live in, I just feel there's opportunity for someone to really come in and change the entire value stream of buying or selling a home and make it more customer centric, make it cheaper, make it easier. I really think that's possible for somebody to jump in and kind of accomplish that goal. And the opportunity is there. Is a huge real estate market just in the US. And there's the opportunity for one sort of mega broker to come in and take over the market, because it's a very fragmented market. There's lots of broken relationships, mistrust between people and realtors, just sort of seen as I kind of in general see them maybe just as salespeople, and maybe aren't providing as much value as maybe they're costing you. And then, of course, there's lots of fragmented services around buying or selling a home. So what is Redfin's business strategy? What is their strategy? They say here in their 10K, our mission is to redefine real estate in the customer's favor. They also say up above here in this paragraph, they talk about having their own agents with their own technology to create a service that's faster, better, costs less. They meet customers through their own search portal and system. Really, Redfin's business strategy is about owning as much of the value stream as possible and then making that value stream customer centric. And they're trying to do that to make it sort of an entire end-to-end system, the end-to-end value stream of what it takes to buy or sell a home. Make that as customer-centric as possible. So Redfin's entire strategy really can be boiled down to two steps. They want to own the value stream. So every process or part of buying or selling a home, they want to own that and have ownership of that. And then they want to step two is make the value stream customer centric. Because they have ownership of it, because they have control of it, they want to then make the value stream customer centric. And we're going to be looking at further in this video what that means. So how is Redfin doing this? And by that I mean owning the value stream and making it customer centric. You can count how many times I say that in this video. So how are they doing that? The biggest customer centric thing Redfin is doing is saving the customers money. Definitely saving the customer's money. So on average, when you're selling your home with Redfin, they take a 1% to 1.5% commission compared to 2.5% to 3% that's typically charged by a traditional real estate agent. So if you're looking at an example, say a $300,000 home, and you charge 1 to 1.5% fee to sell that home, you're taking this $3,000 to $4,500, and if instead you had a traditional agent and it was 2.5% to 3%, that's going to be $7,500 to $9,000 just to sell the home. So you kind of have minimum savings of maybe $3,000 to a maximum of $6,000. Depending on how you're looking at that, which is pretty major savings, $3,000 to $6,000 to save on your home sale. And this slide breaks it down further. A traditional broker, again, takes about 3% and 3% buyer and seller agents, but Redfin is taking about a 4% overall total because it doesn't matter who is on the buyer side, but as the seller, they're only taking around a 1% fee. So major savings. And also it gets better as well. If you're buying a home and use Redfin as your agent, then they're actually going to give you a give back a portion of the fee that they take for that. So the national average is something like $1,750 you get back just by using a Redfin agent to help you find the home that you want to buy. Redfin offers 3 different ways you can sell your home with them. You're just using a broker and selling it, as we talked about. Your Redfin concierge service. So if they feel that they could fix up your home, do some, kind of put some lipstick on the home and fix it up, and then sell it for a higher price, they're going to help you do that and then take a little bit higher fee. But then by doing that process, maybe they're going to add value to your home and actually get more money for your home. Or finally, they're going to do Redfin Now, which is kind of their version of iBuying, instant buying, where they'll buy the home from you on the spot. The process for Redfin Now is very similar to how anyone would buy a home, but Redfin is going to take a higher fee. The average right now is about 9%, so it's definitely going to be a higher fee if you are the customer, if you are the seller of your home, but it does give you that liquidity that maybe you're trying to move across the country and buy a different home, and if you can sell the home right now, even if you lose 9% on it, then you have that instant liquidity and you can move across country. So it's kind of a convenience thing for you as a customer. So how else is Redfin helping the customer besides just saving the money and offering that Redfin Now? Redfin at a glance, this is from their investor presentation, talks about a few different things here, but the one I want to point at is they remove friction with technology at every step. Ultimately, Redfin, they remove friction at every step of the process because they own the process, own as much of the process as possible. Again, they're owning the value stream, and then they're making the value stream customer centric. They're doing different things, different ways of doing that. They invented map-based search back in the day, which at the time was very novel. We're going to get into this, but they hire their own agents as employees. We'll talk about that in a moment. And they're trying to just build this end-to-end product offerings, one integrated system. This slide here just kind of points to that aspect of the integrated system. They're trying to take all aspects of buying or selling a home and integrate it as much as possible. Another way that Redfin is making it more customer centric is they do 3D map tours of every Redfin listed house, which makes browsing easier and limits unproductive in-person tours. So I think there's something to be said that if you know that you're browsing homes at every single home that's a Redfin listed home, for sure has a 3D map of the house. That's super convenient and just a reliable way to do your search. But it's also valuable to the whole system because theoretically, and then as someone looking for a home, you're going to need to look at less houses in person. You're going to have less sort of unproductive in-person tours because you can see the house more clearly and filter through the houses you don't want more clearly before you even go set foot in the house. So it saves time on the Redfin agent's part. They also started doing self-tours of vacant homes during the pandemic, something they started during the pandemic, which allows you, as someone searching for a home, you can just go to a home yourself without an agent at all and tour through a home if it's empty and part of this system that they have. So you might be thinking, okay, that's great, Mr. Paper Bag, but how else is Redfin owning the value stream and making it customer centric? Here's the big one that they are doing as well. It's Redfin's agents are employees, which changes the incentive structure and integrates Redfin further. So because in my mind, employees are different. They're a lot different than contracted agents. Let me explain an example from my own workplace. My day job is helping administrate and operate a custom railing and stair shop. So we build interior custom railings and staircases for renovations and new builds. We kind of do the whole process stream. So customers come in the door, we help educate and help customers choose products, what they need, what they want, kind of do that sales portion. Then we manufacture the products. We then install the railings in the home. We kind of control that whole process internally. But then the way it works is after all the products installed, finishers come and they spray the railing in place with stain and lacquer, the wood product. The finishing side of the business, that we've historically always subcontracted out. But the problem with that was that we had very little control over the process and over any problems that came up. For example, we might get a call from someone who's doing a renovation, and we put in railing, and subcontractor sprayed their stain and lacquer, and customer calls us, isn't as happy with the color as they thought they'd be, and our hands are kind of tied in that situation, because when we can give our subcontractor who's spraying and finishing these railings, we could give them feedback. But it really was only so effective because we didn't own the process. These were just a subcontracted company who did their own thing, and we were using their service. So we didn't really have direct ownership of that. And there were things about that process that also were not customer-centric or not customer-centric enough, such as maybe the stain color selection. There's stain color samples on different species of woods that our subcontractor had gave us to use to help customers in our showroom, select their colors. But it really wasn't, there's maybe some limitations to that process of how they had organized it, and really wasn't as good as it could have been. So all that summed up, we started our own in-house stain department, and we did this in the last year. It's been hard, and we've had growing pains, but long term, this is going to drive a lot of value to the business and make our customers happier. Because the reason is because we can integrate and design the entire process from when the customer first walks in the door, so it is clearly communicated, easy to understand, the most efficient, best process possible we can design. And if something does go wrong on a job, or a customer is a little bit unhappy with something, we can directly find the root problem and give feedback to our employee to improve or fix the problem. It's having that direct ownership and vertically integrating the whole value stream of the process. It's the same idea with Redfin, what they're doing. They're doing the hard work of creating their employee agents. But because they're employees, these employee agents, they're incentivized to do what their employer instructs. Not just to get a sale, like a traditional maybe sales or real estate agent might do, but to do what their employer instructs. And in Redfin's case, that's to move houses efficiently and in volume, but also to make sure that customers are happy with the whole process. And this kind of brings us to also, how are Redfin employee agents paid and how are they incentivized with their work? So they do earn a base salary, but then what I like is they get bonuses based on sales performance, because they do need to sell houses and be motivated to sell houses. But they also get a bonus. It's based on the customer satisfaction. So the fact that the incentives are structured in that way, and that Redfin's thinking that way, how they're setting up these employee agents, to me is brilliant. And according to Redfin, their agents are happier, they earn more money, something like 2x the median pay of other agents. They close a lot more houses, something like 3x more houses. So obviously Redfin's really trying to push high volume with sort of technological tools per real estate agent, which makes sense. They're kind of 3x because their fee structure is something like 1/3 of what traditional agents, 3% to 1%. And also agents are more likely to stay with Redfin overall. Wanted to say as well, if you're getting value out of this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want more videos like this in the future. Okay, so numbers wise, how is Redfin doing? So revenue has been growing. 2020 was a slower year because of the pandemic. They've admitted that, but they expect revenue to continue to grow. Also, their U.S. market share of value by homes sold continues to increase. It's gotten to about 1%. Again, slower growth because of the pandemic year. And their gross profit continues to rise on a trailing 12-month basis. They're at $261 billion gross profit. just last quarter. They are slightly profitable overall as well. So the last few quarters they are profitable. They have a PE that's sky high. It means their profits are razor thin, but it is encouraging to see as a sort of high growth tech company that's still really in like the first part of the first inning. They are already just breaking even or are profitable. Okay, so what kind of growth potential do they have? Again, I showed this just before, but they have only about maybe 1% of value of homes sold in the US. So there's obviously enormous amount of growth that they could still undergo just in the US market. Overall, home sales in the U.S. have increased from 2011, about 4.5 million, to this year they're projecting around 7 million. And I think home sales are going to continue to grow into the future as there's more people, as it becomes easier to move because of services like Redfin, and because jobs are maybe shorter, become more transient, people might move more. But I also think another major trend that could push, continue just overall growth in the number of home sales is that young people that do everything on the internet will get older and will buy houses. And for Redfin, that's a huge advantage because those young people will want to find a realtor and or a home through a seamless app experience. If you move to a brand new city for a new job and you're a young person who's always used the internet, you're not going to know any realtor in person in that new city, but where you're going to go, you're going to look on the internet. Numbers wise with Redfin, what can we project for a future valuation? This is going to be a future video, so make sure you subscribe for that, but I am going to nail down more of a 5-year projection in a future video, so stay tuned for that. How about Redfin's CEO? What's he like? So Glenn Kelman, the CEO of Redfin, he doesn't care about short-term fluctuations of the stock, but thinks long-term.
I haven't entered RDFN into Yahoo Finance or Google once. I care enormously about the long-term value of this business. I want it to be part of my legacy. I want our investors to make an enormous amount of money. But I don't really care if the stock went up or down today, and that's...
He hates the BS of the corporate world.
I hate the baloney-gorged, bullshit-filled corporate world, and my whole goal is to try to build a business that goes beyond that.
He's very long and passionate on Redfin.
My final comment on this is I haven't sold a single freaking share. I am so long on Redfin. Like, we have grown a 100th of what we're capable of. We've invested so much in making the customer experience better, and we're going to be reaping the returns for 20 or 30 years.
He's not the founder of Redfin, which is, kind of a thumbs down for me. I like to invest in companies would have a sort of visionary founder behind them. But he has been involved with Redfin for a long time and CEO for a long time, since 2005. And it's a cool tidbit, you can email him directly at glenkelman.kelman@redfin.com. His email is just listed on their website, which I thought that's pretty cool. What are potential network effects with Redfin? And then by network effect, I mean a network effect occurs when value grows exponentially as a network or system grows. So what are potential network effects with Redfin? The biggest one that I could see happening is that if they continue to grow and have growth, the more homes they sell, the more they can know the correct market prices to list, offer, and accept a home for. The better they can basically know the market pricing to make a sale occur, because the more data they have behind that. And the more they know the correct price for a buyer and seller to agree and transact, then the more efficiently they can complete transactions. Then the more efficiently they can complete transactions, the more people want to buy and sell with them. It's kind of that flywheel effect. That's kind of the one key network effect I see with Redfin that could occur should all the underlying business sort of fundamentals of Redfin be there and be excellent and in place to make the business grow. So finally, getting to the end of the video here, but you're probably wondering, Mr. Paper Bag Investor, what are you doing with Redfin? Again, this is not financial advice, but here is my plan. I have bought a small position in Redfin. I plan to continue to research Redfin, and if my conviction grows, I plan to buy more in this stock. I also plan to research further Zillow and Opendoor, which I have looked at somewhat, but I want to go further in depth there. So far what I have seen, I like Redfin the best because of their end-to-end customer solutions. Make sure to subscribe for those future videos on Zillow and Opendoor and how they compare to Redfin. And overall, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and remember, it's in the bag. Cheers.